Hi, I'm Alex from Wilkinson Cameras. I'm back and I've got the brand new and much anticipated Fujifilm X-H2 along with the XF56mm f1.2 RWR lens. If you're here for the lens, then I'm actually going to cover this in a separate video, but keep watching because I think you're going to love the X-H2. The X-H2 is the world's first 40 megapixel APS-C sensor camera. It's a hybrid camera designed to produce both impressive stills and professional video, and it's aimed at professional and enthusiast photographers along with content creators. It features a backside illuminated, or BSI, X-Trans CMOS 5HR sensor and a lightning fast X processor 5, which we saw debuted in the X-H2S. It's capable of 15 frames per second in mechanical shutter, has pixel shift mode capable of producing 160 megapixel images, features up to 7 stops of internal body stabilization or IBIS, 8K 30p 10-bit video in Apple ProRes, ProRes HQ and ProRes LT, and features up to 13 stops of dynamic range with f-log2. I've had this camera for a couple of weekends now, so I've taken it with me and I've tried out a few different types of photography with it. From landscape photography, families, pet photography, I've shot some bits of sample video for you too. I really like the X-H2. Although it handles the same way as the X-H2S and the body is identical, the images that it produces with the 40 megapixel sensor are just gorgeous. Fujifilm's colour technology, this new superfast 56mm 1.2 lens, and the detail captured by the high resolution sensor are just delightful. If you've not seen my previous review of the X-H2S, then, well, why not? Go and watch this now, please. There's a link just above and also below. I'm going to be comparing the two models at various points. There's a lot of similarities, but also quite a few differences between the two. And hopefully this review of the X-H2 will not only give you all the information you need about this new model, but it will also help you to decide which one will suit you the most. Do you need the X-H2 or does the X-H2S suit your needs more? Before I get to the nitty-gritty, remember I had an issue with the exposure preview in aperture and shutter priority modes on the X-H2S? Lots of you had plenty of suggestions for me, but none of these fixed the problem. I found that I had the exact same problem with this camera as well. So I reached out to Fujifilm and to find out exactly what I was doing wrong. Much to my relief, they were able to replicate the issue, and they think it might have been an error that I've been experiencing with the pre-production models. They've passed this on to Fujifilm Japan, and I imagine that this will be resolved in full production models, so you probably don't need to worry about it. Oh, and speaking of Fujifilm, somebody asked me last time if we were sponsored or paid to do these videos by them. No, we're not. We do have close relationships with the brands, and like many magazines, YouTube reviewers, etc., that means that we get the chance to try out the latest cameras, and we can choose to make content from them if we wish. Who's going to turn down the opportunity to try a brand new camera before launch and share their opinion on it? Well, not me. So, what are the main differences between the X-H2S and the X-H2? The X-H2S is designed for speed, with headline features of 40 frames per second electronic shutter mode versus 15 frames per second mechanical on the X-H2. I've said it before though, I think 15 frames per second is plenty for most people, especially with the combined autofocus capabilities in both cameras. The X-H2S had a maximum video resolution of 6.2K at 30p versus 8K 30p as we see on the new X-H2. The X-H2 also features a new sensor shift mode previously only seen on GFX series medium format cameras. This pixel shift multi-shot mode can be accessed via the drive menu on the top left of the camera, and it works by taking 20 individual images, shifting the sensor by 0.5 pixels between each frame. The marketing spec says that this will be automatically combined into one raw file. I didn't actually find this to be the case, I just ended up with 20 individual RAWs with no way to combine them, as Fujifilm's free pixel shift combiner software hasn't been updated to recognise the RAW files from the X-H2. The fact that this software exists does suggest that the camera won't do it automatically, but again, maybe it's just because I'm using a pre-production model. Let's hope it does combine them automatically, because I thought the pixel shift software was wholly unintuitive to use, and it's another step to take in post-production, which could be avoided. Other brands, such as Olympus, stitch this in camera. As soon as I can process the images I tested this on, I'm going to put a link to the files in the info section below. Pixel shift mode is really designed for times that you need to record lots of detail. It's best suited to being used on a tripod, and the types of photography you might want to use it for include macro work for still subjects, archival use, but also details in architecture or similar fields that can make use of this feature. You definitely don't want to use it when there's going to be any movement, so avoid landscapes with foliage, moving subjects, people, etc. The drive menu is also where you'll find HDR mode, panorama and high-speed shooting options. As I mentioned on the X-H2S video, I personally prefer this to be dial operated on a sub-dial below the main mode dial, rather than being a menu-driven system. It's easy enough to use, but generally speaking, I just prefer quicker access to settings like that. Both cameras share the same body, button layout and menu design. So speaking of ergonomics, I find the camera very lightweight and comfortable to hold even on long shooting days. My partner, who isn't a photographer, but does have an interest in all the tasty equipment I get to take home with me, said, "Oh wow, that's so much lighter than I expected. And I really like this screen on top. It's really easy to see all the key information." And he's not wrong. The LCD top info panel is crisp, easy to read and looks great both unlit or backlit. The Q menu on the back is simple to navigate and useful for quickly changing settings. The main menu is easy to use and allows lots of customization of your settings as well. A new feature to the X-H2 is the digital teleconverter option. This allows you to digitally apply a 2x or 1.4x teleconverter to the lenses you're using. I assume this crops into the sensor and makes use of the massive 40 megapixels. But on a similar vein, when shooting 8K video, you can use the 2x crop mode to shoot 4K and double your lens length. This is actually pretty genius. They both share the same ISO sensitivity, up to 51-200 for stills or 12-800 for video. I actually think the X-H2 performs a little better in low light than the X-H2S. It shouldn't. Generally, more pixels on a sensor, the more noise you'll see. I was definitely expecting noisier images, but I just haven't found that to be the case at all. I was quite surprised actually. Like the X-H2S, you can easily set your own parameters for ISO sensitivity by changing the auto ISO settings. I prefer to set mine very low, so I have a maximum of 800 for most daytime use. This is easy to change and means that you won't get any nasty surprises. Common to both models are the range of bracketing options. Fujifilm are well known for their film simulation modes, which we've shown in the X-H2S video, but what if you can't decide which one to use? Here's where film simulation bracketing comes in handy. You can choose 3 simulations to apply to an image when using this mode. Other bracketing modes are available, and these all apply the same theory. 3 different images from one shot, changing a setting slightly between them. You can choose from ISO, dynamic range, white balance, or focus bracketing. Focus bracketing is particularly interesting as it allows you to combine the images in post-processing to achieve a greater depth of field. This is best known for macro photography, but it can also be useful for landscapes in low light, where you have to use a wide aperture, but you don't want to lose that depth of field in the image. The 2 cameras feature the same incredible autofocus with advanced subject detection and eye detection for both humans and animals. This feature has worked without fail every time I've put it to the test. It is brilliant for photographing the cats and making sure their eyes are in focus and sharp. When photographing the kids, I used a combination of face and eye detection, and this just worked amazingly. Kids actually move in a less predictable way than animals, so having a camera lock on meant that I was able to capture really natural moments with ease. Both cameras share the same EVF. It's large, bright and clear. I predominantly shoot mirrorless, and I have done for a long time, so I'm used to EVFs, but I think this is a really natural viewfinder with no noticeable lag. I think DSLR users will be more than happy with it. The rear LCD touchscreen is sharp and bright. You can easily adjust the brightness in the menu, which I did when it was quite a sunny day, and that worked really well. The touchscreen is set to take a photo by touch out of the box. I touched this to selecting a focus point almost straight away. I just find this a much more useful feature. You can pinch in or out to zoom in on your images in playback mode, and you can swipe between images as well. Both cameras use the MP-W235S battery, and as with the X-H2S, the camera has been made more efficient to get a longer runtime from the same capacity battery. Just like the X-H2S, I was more than happy with how long the battery lasted. I got several hours out of one fully charged battery, and it's easy to recharge on the go thanks to in-camera charging with a USB-C cable. For video, there are 2 key differences to note between the 2 cameras. The X-H2S is capable of 4K 120 frames per second slow motion footage, whereas the X-H2 can only do slow-mo in full HD. I'm not sure why Fujifilm haven't incorporated 4K slow-mo into the X-H2, but I think when you consider the sports and wildlife user base of the X-H2S, it's probably not a great loss. It's a feature that is less likely to be used by the more all-round shooters that the X-H2 will appeal to. Of course, the other major difference is the fact that the X-H2 can shoot 8K 30p versus 6.2K in the X-H2S. Both feature f-log and f-log2 for maximum dynamic range when editing in post-production, and both feature an impressive 7-stop image stabilisation, which means even shooting handheld footage is easy. The X-H2 will actually make a really nice vlogging camera as a result of this as well. Autofocus works brilliantly when recording video and still locks onto the subject with ease. The X-H2 is a brilliant video camera all round. Being small and light, it also allows you to mount it on a gimbal with no problems at all. Combine this with f-log capabilities for colour grading and the various frame rates available to you, and it's easy to create cinema-style footage as well as documentary or vlogging video. You can even use it to stream, so photographers who are delivering webinars or tutorials, or content creators who are live streaming, you're covered here too. Apple ProRes 10-bit 422 footage can be recorded internally at up to 8K 30p using a CF Express Type B card, whereas 12-bit Apple ProRes RAW or Blackmagic RAW can be recorded to a compatible external device via the HDMI Type A port on the side of the camera. Additionally, when recording video using the f-log2 colour profile, X-H2's dynamic range extends to 13+ stops, a one-stop improvement over the previous sensor, which enhances post-production flexibility. You can record continuously for up to 160 minutes. Fujifilm specified that this is at 25 degrees centigrade or 77 degrees Fahrenheit if you're one of the 3 countries still using that measurement, but you can extend this by using the optional X-H2 clip-on fan. Just like the X-H2S, the X-H2 is another modular system. You can choose to add on the fan should you need it, and you can use the same available grips, either the traditional VBG XH battery grip for enhanced ergonomics and extended battery life, or the FT-XH file transmitter grip, which adds professional features such as Ethernet connection, wireless file transfer, and multi-camera setup options for video studio style setups. Another big difference between the two is the price. The X-H2 body launches with a price tag of $1,899. That's £600 less than the X-H2. It will also be available for $2,299 with an XF 16-80mm lens. So that covers all the specifications, similarities and differences between the two cameras. Please watch the X-H2S review I did a few weeks ago, as you'll see more details covering the handling of the camera, the button layout, etc. The main question now is, which one do you need? Well, which one do you need is going to come down to your requirements and budget. Which one would I choose? I'd choose the X-H2 in a heartbeat. I think it's a much more suitable camera for most photographers, and the price point is also a major plus point. I just loved using this camera because of the stunning results I got from the 40 megapixel sensor. The images are so detailed and you've got so much room to crop should you need to. I can't tell you why, I just preferred the images I got from the X-H2 over the X-H2S. Yes, I was using different lenses and shooting a different subject, but it's just something different about how they're rendered. Ella has been using this for some portrait shots and she said exactly the same thing, so did Olivia. The 15 frames per second is more than suitable for my needs. Combined with the ability to crop, the incredible AF and the very impressive video features, I really think Fujifilm have created the perfect hybrid camera. I think I said this about the X-H2S, but this is better. It suits more users. I think this is going to be extremely popular. Combined with their gorgeous colour technology and XF lenses, particularly this 56mm f1.2. Oh, I love this lens. Please watch the video review of it. It's just stunning. Wedding photographers, you're going to flock to this camera and lens combo. It's small, light, it produces great images. The depth of field concerns with APS sensors just aren't an issue with some of the lenses that Fujifilm have available. The crop factor, 15 frames per second mechanical shutter, amazing AF, means you can get more reach, capture the action. It's great for sports photographers. So why is someone going to buy the X-H2S? Well, if you need a silent and blisteringly fast camera to ensure you don't miss a single moment and remain discreet, the X-H2S is for you. If you need a serious hybrid camera for landscapes, portraits, weddings, stills and video, for social media, social photography, I think the X-H2 is the one for you. As always, if you have any questions or opinions about this camera, please comment away down below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Head over to Instagram and TikTok for additional X-H2 content as well, and keep an eye out for the lens review that's coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you very soon.